All right. Hey, we're back and we are talking vertical fasting. Right now, we're in the midst of the holiday season. You got Thanksgiving in November, Christmas in December. These are the two periods where people pack on the most weight. You need vertical fasting to get through that period, burn fat, and not have you sitting there saying, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to lose weight, because you'll already be in the process. So now is the time. This is a good time to be introduced to vertical fasting. So we're going to take you through this presentation and see where we end up. So first things first, and I want to be clear. I am not a doctor. Consult your doctor before starting any type of fasting program. And vertical fasting is not for everyone. Right now, I'm in the midst of a hour 25 of a fast. So, we like to get people there, but there's some people that can't do that. We understand. And that's why we say vertical fasting is not for everyone. So let's talk about the agenda. We're going to talk about what vertical fasting is, who should be fasting and who shouldn't be fasting, the benefits, the misconceptions, the stages of fasting. We'll give you a sample week one schedule that we usually take folks through. We'll have recommended exercises that we definitely recommend to some of our customers, as well as how to break a fast, different meal plans. And at the end of the day, your meal plan is what you select, whether it's paleo, Atkins, or vegan, or whatever you want to do, or if you just want to eat what you want to eat and fast. But at any rate, also, we're going to show you the benefits of tracking your progress, as well as I'm going to share my experience. So that's a mouthful. But first up on the deck is, what is vertical fasting? At the end of the day, what we try to do here, it's not about calorie count. It's not about, figuring out, how much and what you should eat. We don't care what you eat. You eat what you eat. We just want you to fast when it's time to fast and eat when it's time to eat. We want you to respect the eating windows and the fasting windows. So we don't want you eating in a fasting window, because it's all about character here. We are saying here at Sterling Worth Inc. is mors elentum, which basically means elevating character. So it's on you. But really what we're trying to do is get you to the longer fast. So we do like an incremental approach, and we try to extend the durations of your fast. You may start at a 10-10, which is 10 hours eating, and then you have a 10-hour window, a 10-hour window to fast, or the most common fast that out there that people know is a 16/8, which is you're fasting for 16 hours and then you're feeding for 8 hours. That's the concept. And, respect the windows and you will see progress. But again, incrementally, we're really trying to get you to the 20/4, the 24-hour fast, the 36-hour fast, and the 48-hour fast. That's where the hormonal benefits, are maximized. Also, what we do is we maximize the times in which you work out. And, I see people who do cardio today or work out, and the first thing they do is grab a sugary drink. What we're trying to do is, start that workout plan or routine at a specific time, usually about 11 and a half to 12 hours in the fast. And then, if you're doing like a 16-hour fast, don't eat anything, continue fasting all the way to, till you're done in hour 16. And that's where we see the most benefits. So like I said, there's no calorie counting. You pick your diet plan, and the benefits we're going to show you is how to come off some of the longer fast. And that's a key benefit, because I've seen people do stupid things like, come off a fast with a beer. That doesn't make sense, because it's basically just, extinguishing all of the gains or the hormones that you just activated. Alcohol is not your friend when it comes to fasting. So who should not be fasting? Bottom line, if you're malnourished, if your BMI is below 18, if your BMI is anywhere from 22 on up, come on in and let's get to fasting. Children under 18, pregnant women, breastfeeding women, anyone who has gout, taking different medications, you got to consult your doctor. If you have type 1, type 2, consult your doctor. Might not be the best thing for you to do, as well as any type of reflux as well. Again, fasting is not for everyone. Let's talk about the misconceptions. fasting puts you in starvation mode. No, it pulls fat and utilizes your stored fat, so it's not sitting around and hanging around your sides, weighing you down. So it doesn't go into a starvation mode. Really, you're just tapping your fat stores. That's the concept. I want you to remember that, because once I realized that, I really got into deep fast once I understand what the whole concept was and why fasting is beneficial. It doesn't burn muscle, because at the end of the day, once you get into the deeper fast, you release your natural HGH to protect and keep and promote lean muscle growth. So no, it does not burn muscle. Your body's smart enough to know that it's got fat stores, and before it does any type of touching of muscles, it's going to burn those fat stores. So that's why if you've got your BMI is over 20, then you're not going to have instances of burning muscle. You're going to burn a lot of fat, and that fat is going to keep your blood sugars constant, because again, you're using your stored fat to sustain you. And the overeating piece, people say, yeah, it's going to cause overeating. No, it's not, because you're going to consume the same amount of calories. You're just going to consume them in a window. And even if you overeat a little bit, at the end of the day, it's not going to have a profound effect, because you're getting the benefits of the hormones that you would not get if you had eaten meals throughout the day. Because every time you eat, and we'll explain it, you elicit insulin and mTOR. And when those two are on the scene, the fat burning stops. So understand that. The last one is it deprives you of nutrients. No, your body packs away those nutrients. And really, when you have those counter-regulatory hormones, they unpack the nutrients and then, sustain you for, the duration of your fast. So that's definitely not the case. So the benefits: improves mental capacity and concentration. I told you I am in the midst of a 25-hour fast now. I am probably going to go to about 36 or possibly 48. Don't know yet. We'll see what happens when I get to 36. And, I'm giving this presentation. I don't have any problems. I'm not, jumping all over the place. I'm focused. I'm concentrating on the content. Again, the other pieces we already talked about is the body fat loss. That's key. Lowering your blood sugar levels. Now we're getting into some key issues in the Black community or underserved communities, where you have insulin resistance, which is a huge issue. Insulin resistance leads to type 2 diabetes. Now, we're improving insulin sensitivity with fasting. Wow, that solves a problem. Okay. Increased energy. You can see how much energy I have. I'm giving this presentation. Improves fat and improved fat burning, lower cholesterol, another issue in underserved communities, as well as bringing your cholesterol down, bringing some of the different ailments that are out there. It's going to prevent Alzheimer's disease. It's going to extend your life. And this is a key point I'm going to tap on, is reverses the aging process. And we're going to talk about that when we get into into a process called neogenesis that allows your body to consume some of the proteins and sustain you, which are, we will call them unnecessary proteins. Decreased inflammation. So inflammation is a big issue. I can tell you right now, before I was fasting, I couldn't run 3-4 miles without, hip joint pains or just pain in general. I run or have ran 10 miles, 13 miles, and I'm getting down to a clip level in which I did when I was, in my 30s. And I don't have any pain, and I've got, quick recovery. So I can definitely attest to that. And what I'm telling you around the benefits and the the misunderstanding of fasting, that's all coming from neurologist Jason Fung, who is the author of the book called The Complete Guide to Fasting, and also the Obesity Code, which I read. So I'm kind of quoting my source here, just to be clean. Let's talk about the 5 stages of fasting. So we talked about it a little bit in the intro, where when you start fasting, or let's say you eat a meal. So I said, every time you eat a meal, your nutrient sensors become active, and that's insulin and mTOR. So insulin starts breaking down carbohydrates. mTOR is your amino acids. So at this time, and every time you eat, these guys show up. And when they show up, all your counter-regulatory hormones are just they're not there. The two cannot exist at the same time. If one is elevated, the other is dormant. Basically, that's to say that. So you stop feeding, those two show up on the scenes. They're breaking down, your amino acids. They're taking the glucose, sending it to the liver, and then storing that as glycogen and breaking down triglycerides, taking the fat, breaking that down into triglycerides, storing it. So they're storing it. They're the storage guys. They're storing everything, and they're getting everything ready. When you get to stage 2, which is the post-absorptive stage, which is 4 to 16 hours. Now, most people don't get to this stage because they're eating in between. So they won't get to 16 hours. They may eat at 10 hours or 12 hours. Most people don't get the benefits of this. But once you get to this from a fasting perspective, the post-absorptive stage, now that's when your counter-regulatory hormones show up on the scene. And those are cortisol, synthetic tone, noradrenaline, and HGH, human growth hormone. So just to break it down, the synthetic tone is there. It's almost like your fight or flight, the nervous system, your crocodilian brain that just, says, hey, something's not right here. And it could be, hey, something's not right here. I don't see any energy around. We've kind of burned through all our stores. Now we got to go to the deep storage areas where, that's the fat around your stomach, thighs, hips, you name it, gluteus maximus. So that jumps into effect. And again, it's using the HGH to then protect, your muscles, so that your muscles, stay lean. The growth is there, and that's really what that purpose is for, that HGH in a term of when you're fasting. But your HGH definitely goes up after it's active in a fasting incident. So when you're fasting, you're going to increase your HGH levels to levels you may have not had since you were a kid. So that's a positive. The cortisol and the noradrenaline, that's pulling and grabbing and taking that fat and getting it metabolized, and then packing it up and send it over to the liver, and then breaking that down, those triglycerides, and breaking those things down, and then allowing you to have that energy. So that's the post absorptive stage. But the third stage of fasting is where a lot of fun happens, and we'll talk about that. So stage 3 is called it's called basically gluconeogenesis, and that's anywhere from 16 hours to 30 hours. So now, we're sort of in the middle or intermediate period where you're not burning fats for fuel yet. You're still burning, glucose. So this is where autophagy ramps up. And what autophagy is basically, it's for the Greek word that means to self-consume oneself. So you start breaking down compromised proteins, not muscle proteins like loose skin, things like, compromised cells, connective tissues, things that are unnecessary. Your body will take those proteins and convert them into glucose, and that will sustain you or be your energy source. Now, what's the key here? So when you start doing that and you start breaking everything down and getting rid of some of the old, cell debris and junk, now you have some real revitalization around, regenerating those cells, and you're getting the production, of new cells that are replacing the old, compromised cells. You're getting a lot of benefits from this. So anywhere from 16 to 30 hours, that's when that happens. And then when you get to stage 4, you get into the whole ketosis, where you're burning those fat stores, And, there's some mental or brain benefits from those. I mean, one is, increased concentration, focus, executive function. Something called neuroplasticity is also something. Your memory is a lot sharper. A lot of benefits from, brain health when you start burning fats for energy. When you get to stage 5, that's when you get into the more deeper fast. Your adrenaline level kind of goes down. That handles your appetite. So your appetite is going down. You're being sustained by the fat in your body or the fat stores. All that is being sent to the liver, broken down, burnt. Burned. Some of the proteins, the unnecessary proteins, pop up on the scene as well. Or you get more deeper into that in stage 5. I've never gone to stage 5. I've only been to stage 4, a 48-hour fast. But there's a lot of benefits there. So maybe at some point, not in this program with vertical fasting, we just concentrate on the stages from all the way up to stage 4. So all that being said, let's talk about cardio and the importance of what a workout plan is. So like I said, I get to probably about hour 12 or 11 or 11 and a half. And that's when I start working out, doing light cardio, exercises, whether it's weights, chest exercises, back exercises, or, running on the treadmill, as you can see here, doing your arms, but all shoulders, but all light stuff, not heavy, but, just enough to elicit a response to kind of burn some of those calories that are stored in the liver, so I can get quicker into autophagy and start breaking down some of the unnecessary parts that I want to get rid of. So that would be like a simple, plan I would put together in terms of, someone who just does, light cardio, light weightlifting, and that would yield some benefits. Let's talk about a fasting schedule for someone who would be on the intermediate level. So, putting together a 30-day fast, what we would do is try to ramp that individual up. As you can see, Monday, do a 17-hour fast with a 7-hour eating window, and then maybe an 18-hour fast with a 6-hour. The goal here is to get to 20. And once we get to 20, you're starting to really get the benefits. Also, what we try to do is break everything down in terms of hours in a week. There are 168 hours in a week. We want folks to fast 110 of those hours to get the benefits, which is basically represents 65% of your time in a fasted state. The more you're in a fasted state, the more hormonal benefits you're going to get. That's key. So meal plan, we talked about it. You decide the meal plan, but the do's, healthy fats like avocados, nuts, salmon, and salads when you're coming off a long fast. And then you want to avoid the highly processed foods, the carbohydrate-rich foods that have refined grains and things of that nature. And you want to consume a lot of green tea, because that's going to it's going to suppress the appetite, but at the same time, it's going to give you those antioxidants that'll be beneficial. Everything kind of gets heightened when you're fasting. Some people will recommend that you take a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Now, if you're eating all the time and you're not in a fasted state, you get more benefits when you're in a fasted state. That is a fact. And, you can see those benefits, when you look in the mirror. So let's talk about what to eat after fasting, just to be clear on this. So you want to really come down slow. I mean, when I did a 48 hour, or actually it was 52 hours on a fast, what I did, I came down with I think I had some lean cuts of chicken, grilled chicken with some potatoes and some salad. But really, your first meal, you want it to be light and you want it to be very non-aggressive in terms of, the things that you eat. So you want to avoid overeating, eating too much, or like I said, breaking the fast with sugary drinks or drinks that are not good for you. Some people like Gatorade or something like that. You just want to keep it simple: water, no alcohol, because that's going to kill the gains that you got from those counter-regulatory hormones being on the scene. And when they're on the scene, what happens is you get like an afterburn effect, because they keep working. But you hit some out, or you drink some alcohol, then that's like throwing water on the fire. So again, you want to eat a small meal, save your heavier meal or your heavier load for the second meal. You want to, get some fruits, nuts, vegetables, and then, like I said, lean proteins, and you want to eat slow. That's the key to all of this. Eat slow. All right. So let's talk about some data points. What you want to do is you want to weigh yourself daily, because you want to see the progress that you get. From my perspective, I weighed myself daily, and I wrote down what I ate. And I also tracked all my activities in terms of how many miles I ran or walked or whatever. I did all of that. And then I used the Fasting app, which is you can use it in the free mode, to just make sure, I can look at my my fast and know that I started it at this time and it ends at it has an end time as well. Very beneficial, because sometimes, you can forget, or you can forget to set it, but you want to know and track what you're doing. So again, it's key to get these data points, so you have them, so you can point to them. And that's a key point that I will definitely make. So let's talk about my experience. So I started vertical fasting in July. You can see me over there, that first image. I was kind of plump. And then towards the middle of July, I started to lean out just a bit. And then when I got into August, so in July, I did the long 48-hour fast. That's when I started to notice that my chest, my midsection, everything was just regenerated. It was almost like, and people, this is something I probably should have mentioned, but when you do the autophagy, you get the effects of autophagy. What you get right after that is you get a nice boost of collagen production. Because again, you're cleaning out all the old debris, and collagen production starts ramping up. Now, what I'm telling you, so the things I've said, HGH, collagen, you get natural production, right? Now, most people don't get this because they don't get to the longer fast. And that's the benefits of the longer fast. And we show you how to do them, and we show you how to end them. And the results, I can guarantee you, are going to be phenomenal. You're going to be like, wow, I thought I had to, be in the gym every day. It's really not about the gym and working out. It's those counter-regulatory hormones that are going to really produce the results here. I can tell you this because I used to run 10 miles. I mean, back in May, I think I ran probably 100 miles in 10 days and saw no results. And that's where I kind of got to thinking about, what I need to do additionally, or, think about what I need to do from an intelligence perspective to get where I want to get. And in October, that's lean muscle. I mean, my body is, I haven't been, this light in probably, I want to say, almost a decade and a half. So I've got muscle, I've got lean muscle. I'm not in the gym all day doing sets and going crazy. I do run because I do like the effects of running and the feeling running gives me. And that's just something that's a personal preference. So, but those are my results. I went from, I think I lost probably about 50 pounds. I went from 200 and I want to say 58 pounds all the way down to right now I'm about 223. So for the year, I'm down 50 pounds. And where I started was 273. And I'm now at about 218. So it's about 53, 54 pounds total. But it's all fat. All fat. And you all hear about how hard it is to burn fat. Vertical fasting and fasting in general is going to pull those fat stores out of your midsection, your hips, your thighs, Your body, when you're in a fasted state, your body knows that there's actual energy that it needs to get, and it stored it away for a reason. And the reason being, it's for a time in which it needs it. And when you challenge your body to go get it, your body will go get it, and you'll see the results. So that's my story on the vertical fasting, and that's why, I lay it out the way I lay it out, vertical fasting and being in a fasted state and getting done those fasted state workouts in 2021. This is something that's going to help you manage your weight going forward because, I've been fasting every day since July 1. And today it is the 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all of you folks. Thank you for your service. And like I said, I'm in the midst of now it's a 26-hour fast. So, like I said, I'll probably take it to 36. But I did this presentation purposely in the midst of a long fast because I know there's doubters out there. People say, you're starving yourself. You're going to be, you have your brain will be foggy. No, you can do normal things in a fasted state. You just have to get to a fasted state and stay there. And then, when you need to come down, you come down. And with our program, we show you exactly how to do it so you don't get sick or you don't have any problems. You got to drink a lot of water. You got to drink your green tea. Like I said, stay hydrated. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is you just cannot eat anything unless you come to a point where you say, hey, you get dizzy or you're not feeling well. Break the fast. I will say that to the cows come home. If you don't feel as though you're feeling sick or whatever, you break the fast. But if you're feeling fine, stay in that fasted state, challenge yourself. And I'm telling you, you will get the benefits. Now, if you want to get involved with this program, this pricing down at the bottom, I try to make this video as short as possible, but there's just so much stuff to cover that it was impossible. So we'll probably end up at around 28 minutes, 29 minutes. I appreciate you hanging in there, but I'm telling you, vertical fasting now through these tough, fat-based or fat-induced months, which is, November and December, that's when people pack on all of the weight. And, if you do it now and you get accustomed to it, and again, what we try to do is get you there gradually. So it's not a rush job. But I'm telling you, if you get these concepts down and you start seeing the benefits, I've got one client now that's in the program. He hasn't even done the program for a week. He's already lost 3 pounds. If you look at other programs, what they'll tell you is you can expect to lose 1.5 or 2 pounds per week. With vertical fasting, and I'm going to predict that this client of mine is going to probably be around 4 or 5 pounds. And we've worked with him to get him from, he's at the intermediate level, but we've worked with him to get him to a 16-hour fast all the way up to a 20. And we want him to do 20 consecutively. And that's really, getting the benefits. So look, if this program is for you and you like what you see and you want to lose weight and you want to control your destiny going forward, if you want to take advantage of those counter-regulatory hormones, elevated HGH, you're not taking any supplements. In vertical fasting, there's no pills, powders, surgeries, or cold sculpting. This is your natural hormones, your God-given hormones that we're going to teach you how to just run loose. So click the button, get the subscription. We will get you to where you need to get to in 2021 and beyond. Thank you for your time, and I'm out. Peace.